Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump met at the G7 summit, marking the first in-person interaction between the two leaders in over a year. It all began when world leaders took to the stage for a G7 family photo. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump were seen interacting with other world leaders as they walked onto the stage. While there was no interaction between the two leaders, they stood close to each other, with French President Emmanuel Macron standing between them.
We have photographs there
and just here, please, down there, please. Ladies and gentlemen.
First downstairs.
As the group photo session came to an end, US President Donald Trump walked off the stage with Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi and Italy's Giorgia Meloni. Prime Minister Modi was seen huddled in a conversation with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and others. The ice-breaking moment came when world leaders gathered for the G7 roundtable session. As Prime Minister Modi entered the venue, he had a brief chat with EU Council President Antonio Costa, while President Trump was seen interacting with Italian PM Meloni. As PM Modi went towards his seat, Trump shook hands with him, exchanged smiles, and the two leaders had a brief chat. But it was their first face-to-face meeting in the last 16 months. Then, sitting beside US President Donald Trump, Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised concerns over the safety of seafarers in the Strait of Hormuz. In his statement, PM Modi said those working at sea must be able to perform their duties, quote-unquote, without fear or threat to their lives. With Trump looking, PM Modi also quoted Ronald Reagan's famous maxim, trust but verify, saying that the world suffers from shortage of trust. Well, later, as the world leaders gathered for an evening reception, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was seen lending a helping hand to US President Trump as he made his way to the stage. Trump was also seen holding PM Modi's hand as the two interacted with other world leaders. The warmth between the two leaders could mark an inflection point in the strained bilateral relations. All eyes would now be on the much-anticipated bilateral meeting between Trump and Modi, which is scheduled for later today. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Terani has sent us this report. Listen in.
One of the most closely watched meetings on the sidelines of the G7 summit is between U.S. President Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two leaders are holding their first face-to-face meeting in 16 months, with trade, defense cooperation, and energy security expected to top the agenda. Experts say the meeting could help reset momentum in U.S.-India relations at a time of global uncertainty and shifting alliances, while officials caution that no major trade breakthrough is expected immediately. Both sides are signaling that negotiations will continue in the weeks ahead. Susan Terani reporting from New York for WION World is One.